Everyone. This is the 2012 Hokipa Kite Surf Pro. I'm Sky Solbach. Standing next to me, Ben Meyer. It's great to be here in Maui. You just got here last night, and we're right into some great waves already out here, Ben.
Yeah, if you can see behind us at all, we're already looking at a great swell starting to arrive this morning, supposed to pick up through tomorrow. Super happy to be here because of the culmination of the event, of the tour this year, the 2012 tour, and super stoked to be up here on the point at Hokipa, waiting to see what it's going to bring for us. Sky should be a fantastic week of competition. Lots of buzz in the air, as typical here on the island of Maui when there's waves breaking and there's that mist that sort of hangs over the island for sure. And we can't wait to get out there and get this competition underway.
Yeah, it's going to be a great competition for sure. We're all super stoked to be here. It's been quite a while since we've had a kite surfing event at Hokipa. Last time was in 2006. This is actually the first world tour event that will ever take place, even in the U.S., let alone in Hawaii. So we're super stoked to be here in Maui and can't wait to get this thing underway at this beautiful, incredible location here that is Hokipa Beach Park.
Absolutely. We have some pretty cool things on tap this morning as well. Some special events happening down on the beach for the riders as we await the riders meeting. Again, as we said, this is the final tour stop of the year. We just came fresh off just a little over 3 weeks ago, our event in Ireland, where unfortunately we weren't able to complete the entire draw, but did get final results. So to get everyone up to speed, why don't we switch to one of the action clips of one of the most exciting day that we have in Ireland to kind of get everybody up to speed on the tour to this point and our last event in Ireland.
Right now we're on the west coast of Ireland and we've been driving around looking at a few spots, and we came to this place in the middle of a pasture filled with sheep and some nice waves coming in, and hopefully the wind picks up and we'll get some contests going.
Ireland gets just some of the best waves in the world. It gets really good Atlantic swell comes in, really good waves, really strong westerly winds usually, which is really good.
You can get amazing conditions here, and like the thing about it is it doesn't stop. All year round we get conditions. It's not just winter, it's not just summer, it's constantly. You got to be Johnny on the spot and you got to know what's going on, and you got to be able to move with the conditions and get in the right spot for the day, you know.
I think it works well for Ireland because our weather is so changeable. It's being able to have it mobile and being able to move, it really creates a better atmosphere, and obviously you get the better conditions on the day.
This is day one of the 2012 Hokipa Kite Surf Pro, here coming to you live from the island of Maui here at beautiful Hokipa Beach Park. As you can see down there on the beach right now, the riders are having a little opening ceremony down there. Actually, a little bit of a Hawaiian blessing going on down there, Ben.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Again, every time we come to the Hawaiian Islands, the aloha spirit is in the air always. It's such a fantastic island to visit and state to visit here in the South Pacific. It's a beautiful place. We've got a little bit of an overcast sky here around us, looking like it's probably going to stagnate the wind a little bit this morning. But as you said, Sky, some pretty cool events we have going down on the beach right now. A few different things on the agenda this morning, one of them being a blessing here as this is the official opening for the event down at Hokipa Beach Park.
Yeah, absolutely. And, these riders, a lot of them coming to Hawaii here for the first time here being in Maui, and getting a little bit of the aloha spirit happening down there on the beach. You can see them standing around in a circle, and great waves out there this morning, and just a beautiful day down here on the beach.
And right there, zooming in on the Hawaiian blessing, that is Kumu Keli'i Tawa, giving the Hawaiian blessing to the riders and the staff members and the lifeguards and everybody here, wishing for their safety and a good event, and giving thanks for the beautiful conditions that we have here on the island. The waves have been cranking all morning, Sky, and it looks like it's going to be a fantastic week, and we're so happy to have such a cool introduction to this event, a great opening ceremonies for all of the riders and everybody here, and for all of you at home as well that are tuning in. Thanks for checking us out on this day one of the 2012 Hokipa Kite Surf Pro.
Yeah, just a great way to kick off this event and really set the tone. Just a huge community effort here coming together. You can see those riders getting their lays. Just great community support here. Everyone really putting in a huge effort to make this event happen. We are super stoked to be at such an infamous location here at Hokipa, and of course we'd like to say a huge thank you to the County of Maui. I actually saw Brianne down there from the county. She's been instrumental in helping us put on this event. Huge thank you to the County of Maui.
Yeah, as you can see, some of our riders down there, as you said, getting their welcome lays and being introduced to for some of these riders, Sky, the first time they've ever set foot in Hawaii, and Hokipa, though the Hawaiian name means a lot, means hospitality and a welcoming place here. This beach can be gnarly, and if forecasts and everything holds true of what this place can provide, Sky, we're in for a fantastic event, and the way that the wave breaks here is definitely no joke. When it's right off the point there, you don't want to be caught inside. And so for a lot of these guys, their first time on Maui, there's a few other spots on island that are a bit more of a gentle introduction to the more of a forceful Hawaiian wave that we have out here. But Hokipa is not one of those places. So for a lot of these riders, their first time on Maui, getting out here, stepping foot into the water in Hokipa is going to be great.
Yeah, so that's going to be really interesting to see the local knowledge come into play from some of the local riders who ride here all the time versus those who are just coming to Hawaii for the first time. The waves are very powerful here in Hawaii, and for sure some of the riders who have been here for about a week now have been trying to get out here and get their feet wet and do a little bit of warm up at Hokipa and lanes just downwind. And of course, the topic on everyone's mind coming into this World Tour final here at Hokipa is obviously the world title race. We've got pretty tight points right across the board with both the men and women, and we'll get into a little bit of that in just a moment as you see this traditional Hawaiian ceremony taking place down here on the sand at Hokipa.
Yeah, it's pretty great. We do have a great turnout this morning from the local community, being very welcoming, of course, to the KSP riders and staff. We'd love to thank Rod and Tone, Maui County Community communications director, down here this morning, making this happen again. As we said, we have the traditional blessing happening, which is, if you've never experienced it before, such a special thing to go through. It really, again, kind of introduces you to the aloha spirit, and really it sets the tone for a fantastic event that's, not only filled with competition, but also filled with a love and respect for this place.
Absolutely, and just as we see Nina Bichler and her daughter down there, so cute down here. They're in Hawaii for the first time. They flew all the way from Mauritius. Nina, of course, originally from Germany. We've seen a lot of her on tour. She is a Mauritian resident now and is here with her husband and daughter. They flew all the way from Mauritius. She was the winner of that last event in Mauritius, her home spot now. And of course, we would like to thank all of our incredible sponsors making it possible to put on this 2012 Hokipa Kite Surf Pro. We mentioned the County of Maui earlier, huge support coming from them. Also like to thank a bunch of industry brands stepping up to really support this event. Best Kiteboarding, of course, Cabrina Kiteboarding, Nash Kiteboarding, North Kiteboarding, and Ion Essentials, the official World Tour outfitter of the KSP. I'd also like to thank the MKC, which is the Maui Kiteboarding Community, as well as Eternal Riders, Second Wind, and Neil Pride Maui. So if you're just joining us, this is day one of the 2012 Hokipa Kite Surf Pro. So a beautiful day here at Hokipa, and just getting this event underway today. It doesn't look like we're probably going to have much in the way of wind today. Pretty glassy conditions out there at the moment, but a traditional Hawaiian blessing ceremony going on down there on the beach at the moment, and kicking this event off here on the beautiful island of Maui.
A few technical difficulties with video, trying to bring you this live action. Sorry about that. I believe our audio is still up and rolling, so we will try to do our best to give you a sort of a play-by-play again, as we said before. So while we try to figure that out, again, we are here at the day number 1 of the 2012 Hokipa Kite Surf Pro. We'll step away for a word from our for our sponsors, and come back to you in a second.
Welcome back. This is day 1 of the 2012 Hokipa Kite Surf Pro. We are here in our commentator booth here on beautiful Hokipa Beach, and a beautiful day out there. Waves rolling in, and some of the competitors got out for a little surf this morning, and we do have that blessing going on down on the beach at the moment, and really getting this thing underway. As you can see, Ben has continued to farm his hair between Ireland and this event, so that Mo's looking pretty good, Ben.
Yeah, well, it is Movember, Sky, and unlike you, I suppose I'm supporting all things male, and you've decided to shave your face.
Well, my little blonde mustache would I just would have looked ridiculous there next,
I got
to,
this,
that,
got
next to that furry beast on your
nice little hairy caterpillar hair growing underneath my nose. But yeah, again, as we said, some pretty cool stuff going down on the beach right now. We actually just heard the U.S. national anthem here down on the beach by Lois Leinani Whitley, and she is also going to sing the Hawaiian anthem as well, as again a continuation of a welcome that we have here for all of the riders. Here at the first day of the event, again, the riders meeting coming up directly after the opening ceremonies, which again, as we said before, such a cool thing. We had some words from Rod Antone, the Maui County Communications Director. Again, there a huge thank you to the Maui County for making this event happen. It wouldn't happen without them, that's for sure. We also had Kumu Keli'i Tawa giving the blessing, the traditional Hawaiian blessing, which you saw a bit earlier on the feed from the beach. And again, as we just talked about, the national anthem of here in the United States, and also the Hawaiian national anthem. And it's a pretty interesting place. If you've never had the chance to come to Hawaii before, though it is a part of the United States, it's about as far away from U.S. culture as you can imagine. It's independent in its own ways and its own thought process, and definitely it's a jewel in the Pacific that is, if it's a place you've never been before, one of my favorite places on Earth. Sky, I know you feel the same.
Yeah, for sure. And we've both lived here over the years. You used to live here for a number of years. I actually just recently relocated back to Maui. I'm kind of living here now. And it's an absolutely beautiful place, and we're so stoked to be here bringing you this event live. So I know one of the hot topics on everyone's mind coming into this World Tour final, Ben, is obviously the world title race. And we've got, both on the women's and men's side of things, really close points coming into this final event here at Hokipa. And we've crunched a few numbers here and have a few different scenarios written out here. So basically on the men's side, anyone in the top 5 right now still is mathematically in contention to take the world title.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that is going to depend on how some of the highest ranked riders do and fare in this competition. But just looking at a few of the scenarios here, if Patri, Ayrton, or Sebastian win this event, regardless of how any of the other riders do, they will win the World Tour outright. They will win the title. So those guys are obviously in first, second, and third place right now. Patri, the winner of that event in Mauritius on the men's side, ranked second is Ayrton Cozzolino, our reigning world champion from last year, and Sebastian Ribeiro from Brazil. So if any of those 3 guys win this event, they are going to be the outright winner. Again, for Luke McGillivray is in 4th place, and then we have 3 riders tied in 5th, which are Kiahi, Gili, and Mitu. So for Luke to win the world title, he has to win this event, and Ayrton has to be 4th place or less, and Patri has to also be 4th place or less, and Sebastian also has to be 2nd or less. So a bunch of different scenarios taking place, and it's going to be really interesting to see how this all plays out. Of course, on the women's side, top 3 women also have a number of different scenarios for them to win very tight points coming into this event.
Yeah, and thanks for putting that effort in with that math, Sky. I know that's a subject that you struggled with in your homeschooling when you were growing up, and
that's right.
But as you said, it's really interesting to see sort of the scenarios that we are able to have here, and it's actually pretty fitting that it comes down to this event here in Hawaii. I know this is maybe with Mauritius one of the most anticipated events based on the conditions that are possible here. In our last event in Ireland, as well as our first event in Gincho, which unfortunately we weren't able to finish completely, did get a result out of Ireland, but not able to really determine the points leaders from that, sort of the same points leaders that came into Ireland are leaving Ireland basically in the same position as they were coming into it on the men's side. We did have some shakeups on the women's side. However, on the men's side, coming into this final event, like I said, it's this and Mauritius perhaps were the 2 events most look forward to conditions-wise, and pretty cool that it comes down to this last this last event here at Hokipa, one of the world's most famous breaks, for any wind sport for surfing as well.
It's just it's going to be a great final here in Hawaii. It's great to bring it to Hawaii. I know Patri currently in the lead, current front runner, points leader in this tour. This is his home spot. He's from Maui, and he's going to have huge support here on the beach. All his family and friends are going to be down here cheering him on. So he's going to be looking to snatch his first ever world title here at home in Maui, which is huge excitement, and can't wait to see that.
Yeah, exactly. And I know Patri is has been looking forward to it. Again, finds himself in the position of I want to say defense, even though he hasn't really won a world title yet, but it kind of feels like he's in that position of defense, and even more so now because he's at his home, in his home turf. He's going to have his local buddies rooting him on for sure, and a couple of the guys probably trying to take him out that are here from Maui, as we have some local wild cards that will be in the mix as well. And of all places in the world, the local wild cards here in Maui are going to be top-notch riders. There's going to be no slouches out there whatsoever. Everyone from Hawaii that's in the main draw and in the local play-in, I guess, is they're going to be a force to be reckoned with, especially here on their home turf.
Yeah, those local wild cards are going to be lethal out here for sure. And, Patri, this being his home spot, he is going to have to, as I was mentioning before, he's going to, based on how other riders do, he's going to have to finish 4th place or better, depending, of course, on how Luke, Ayrton, and Sebastian do in this event. But 4th place out here for Patri in his home spot, I think is, obviously easily within his reach, and that's going to be really exciting to see how that all plays out. And as you can see, great waves out here at the point at Hokipa this morning.
Yeah, and again, based on the forecast, kind of seems like that's going to be the week. It looks like it's about a 2.5 to 3, between 11 and 13 second, I want to say. A bit bigger of a swell, perhaps, compared to today, which is great news based on what we're seeing right now. But in general, the forecast is looking fairly promising for the next week.
Yeah, for sure. There's going to be no shortage of swell. Right now, we do have a bit of a break in the wind pattern, in the trade wind pattern here in Maui. It looks like for the next couple of days, it's going to be kind of variable winds. Again, that can change. Things do change pretty quickly here in Hawaii. We've got a series of lows swinging down. There's actually a big high pressure circling Hawaii right now that we're right in the middle of, so really stagnating the winds at the moment. But again, those systems can move in and out, and we'll just have to wait to see how that all plays out. But we do have pretty good swell on the forecast, and we just need that second ingredient, wind, and we'll get this thing underway.
Yeah, and again, Maui is a wind machine, so I'd anticipate in our 10-day holding period being able to have a couple of solid days, though it, like as you said, the next couple of days look like perhaps it's a bit of a stalemated pattern over our heads. So as soon as the trades come in and blow that out of here, we should get back into action, and it looks like the waves will cooperate.
So we see our head judge Brad Price down there just briefing all the riders on what they can expect to see here in this competition. You can see the men's heat ladder down there. And I believe Ian Ponting, our contest director, is giving the riders a bit of a briefing on all the logistics of launching and all that sort of stuff. It is a pretty small beach here, and it's going to be a little bit of a challenge getting people in and out from the beach, but it's such a world-class wave out here to Hokipa, and I can't wait for it to get windy and get this thing going.
Yeah, and all of the times that I've kited here, again, it's not often that it's closed down, as you were saying, alluded to earlier, Sky, just for a kiteboarding event. It's been years, actually, since that's been the case. There was a pretty prestigious event that would happen here on a pretty yearly basis. I believe it was 7 years running. That was a King of the Air event here at Hokipa. And that was sort of set the standard back in the day for really all kiteboarding events. But that in general kind of took into play the waves here at Hokipa, but played on the freestyle part of it and the waves. So it was more of a combo event for those years. And now again, being here on a KSP Tour event and utilizing this wave entirely for its surfing prowess is going to be something that really hasn't quite
been done before, and I'm excited to see, because I know the wave here at Hokipa is insane if you can sneak up into it on any regular day here. But having the whole beach closed down for the days of competition is going to be something that a lot of these riders will never forget. It's a pretty spectacular feeling to be down there and really sharing the water with just one or two other people at a break like Hokipa.
Yeah, absolutely. And, for those of you who know Hokipa, this is mainly a surfing and windsurfing beach here. However, we are able to sneak up here from time to time to kite, but predominantly we are down at the other break lanes. So, we're really stoked to be able to hold this KSP event here, World Tour Finals at Hokipa Beach Park. And, it's going to be a great event.
Yeah, and as the event rolls on and the days roll on, we'll definitely be able to give you a bit more of a perspective of where we sit if you've never had the opportunity to come out and be actually where this vantage is we're looking at right now, up on the point. There's some definite sections of this beach in general and this little bay that we're looking at, and it divides, as Sky said a bit earlier, the downwind section is lanes and is usually where the kiteboarders are riding. A bit more challenging of a wave at lanes. Actually, Hokipa lines up a bit better. It breaks a bit bigger here off the point, which is where we're anticipating all of the contests action to happen. But again, just to sort of give you a bit of a lay of the land, kind of how we're looking out from us right now on the left will be sort of that's kind of the beginning of that point break. You can't quite see it in your screen. We're basically looking at middles right now here at Hokipa. But it kind of gives you a good perspective, and then off to the right, there's a wave that seems to break even when there's no swell whatsoever at pavilions. You'll see up and coming pro surfers there on a daily basis. Some of the hottest riders in the world in the surf scene. This is their home beach. They're here every day, and again, it's up off to the right of your screen here, pavilions. Spectacular place, great training ground, and again to the point break, which again we'll sort of be able to show you different angles as the week goes on. Off to the left of the screen here is where we anticipate running this event.
Yeah, so the point is going to be basically our main competition area, so that's where we will be running all the heats right on that peak at the point. So day one here, 2012 Hokipa Kite Surf Pro, brought to you by the County of Maui, Best Kiteboarding, Karina, Nash, North Kiteboarding, and Iron Essentials. And you can see our riders down there on the beach. Machu Almeida there, I believe, with the dreadlocks, and I'm sure as soon as this meeting is over, all those guys are going to jump on their boards and paddle out there. I believe that's Mr. Pete Cabrina himself down there getting ready to go out for a surf. I think I recognize that Cabrina sticker on his board. So Pete's going to be around. I'm sure we're going to hear a little bit from the man and the legend himself a little bit later on in the week. We'll try to pull him in here into the booth and get an interview and get a word with Pete.
Yeah, again, the island of Maui there's no shortage of just outstanding watermen. Again, one on your screen in front of you right there. And it's such a magical place to be. And even if you're here on vacation, if you're here just for a short time, it doesn't take too long to really get engulfed into the spirit here of the island. It's a very outdoor-oriented island. People go to bed early, wake up early. People are outside for 90% of their lives here on the island. It's a fantastic atmosphere to be involved in. It's such a great place to host an event. And again, as you said, Sky, can't wait to get this thing up and rolling in the conditions, the classic Hokipa conditions that we're expecting. We also, we're looking live in front of us here, the riders meeting happening for the day. It looks to me, Sky, like we're probably going to call it off for the day. The forecast doesn't look good for the afternoon. As we get into the later morning here and into the afternoon. And Maui's a pretty unique place in that you can pretty much know exactly what's going to happen based on the weather patterns. There's not a lot of frontal activity here. It's all pretty much trade driven. There's a little bit of pressure, a little bit of heat involved, but not really. It's mostly a trade wind pattern, so you can kind of see that coming from a few days away to be able to anticipate whether or not you're going to get wind. And it looks all all conditions are pointing to that really not happening this afternoon.
Yeah, today is definitely going to be a lay day here for day one, and we will reconvene here tomorrow morning once again, 9 a.m. for the live show, and see what the conditions bring tomorrow. It doesn't look like there's probably going to be much wind, but we do have a relatively big swell on tap for tomorrow. It's going to peak sometime tomorrow, so that's going to be really interesting. And you see Ian Ponting there on screen, contest director, just briefing the riders down there on the beach at Hokipa.
Yeah, just sort of giving a rundown exactly of how everything's going to be working here. Again, this is the first morning. Everyone's showing up. As we said earlier, it's the first time on the beach for a lot of these riders. So a little bit of local knowledge goes a long way of where to go, where not to go, where the contest zone is, launching, landing. There's a little keyhole spot that pretty much everybody is going to be using to launch and land that if you don't really know how it works, can get pretty congested in there. So you're going to have some coordination, so everybody trying to get up to speed and how that's going to work. But again, we're anticipating that this is going to be a lay day today. Again, still waiting official word as we continue to check in on our riders meeting that is happening right now. You see head judge Brad Price there going through heat sequences and flag sequences and exactly what's going on out there. Again, the conditions can be challenging here, so understanding exactly what's going on before you hit the water is not only important anytime you go kiteboarding, but especially in a place like Hokipa, which can easily manhandle you straight into the rocks and not only wreck your gear, but
Yeah.
wreck your body pretty easily.
Yeah, for sure. And safety is going to be obviously a huge concern here. And we do have some amazing jet ski drivers going to be running safety out there for us. So we've got a great team here to keep these riders safe and get this competition run smoothly and safely.
So we are going to step away just for 1 second, anticipating final word from the riders meeting, and we'll be back with you momentarily.
Welcome back. We are here in day one, ladies and gentlemen, of the 2012 Hokipa Kite Surf Pro.
Again with you. Welcome back to the 2012 Hokipa Kite Surf Pro. We'd love to give a special shout out, special thank you to the Park and Recreation Department here in the county of Maui. This thing wouldn't be happening without their support. As you can imagine, everybody and their brother wants to run an event here in Hawaii, and their cooperation and support and basically allowance of letting us run the event here has been instrumental in making this event happen. Love to big shout out to those guys. Love to also say a big thank you to Mayor Arakawa. Super great support from the mayor. I've had the opportunity to meet him a couple of times actually at different events around Maui. Fantastic dude. Very active in the local Maui community and trying to get a lot of events here run on Maui. Really knows how to treat his guests when they arrive. Again, without his support and his presence sort of in the whole thing here at this event, it wouldn't be happening either. And again, a huge shout out, lots of mahalos to the lifeguards here at Hokipa Beach State Park. These guys are some of the best watermen in the world. We are honored actually to have these guys with us on the beach and watching out for everybody. These guys, again, being on the north coast of any island in the Hawaiian island chain, you are the man as far as lifeguarding goes. So big shout out, big thank you to those guys for keeping an eye on everybody here at the event.
Yeah, absolutely. There we see Pache McLaughlin, the current front runner here this tour, looking pretty relaxed down there this morning and getting things rolling here on day one. Looks like it is going to be an official lay day call. We do have official word from our riders meeting down there. There will be no competition held today, so we will reconvene back here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. and make the call once again and see if the wind forecast turns around and we can actually get this thing going.
Yeah, and that is what we expected. As we talked a bit earlier, there was a little bit of a haze kind of over the beach coming down the hill this morning, Sky. And that typically means there's not a lot of air movement. Some of the mist, obviously, in the air from the waves that are breaking out there, without any wind moving through, it kind of puts a little haze in the air, which is a good sign for anybody who loves surfing, who loves waves, because that means that there's waves breaking all over all the breaks on the north coast here, lighting up, especially Hokipa, as you've seen in front of us as a few of our shots. So we're super excited about the forecast for the rest of the week. Should be fantastic. Again, just waiting for the wind to show up. But again, as we know, Maui being the wind machine that it is, chances are that we won't have to wait too long in order for that to happen.
So thanks once again, everyone out there, for joining us this morning on the morning show, day one here at the Hokipa Kitesurf Pro 2012. We will be back here tomorrow, 9 a.m. live from Hokipa. Again, today is an official lay day, so I think I'm going to head out there and go for a little surf and maybe get in the water and cool off.
Yeah, it looks like that's definitely something that's in the cards for today. I will also continue to try to farm my mustache for this Movember we find ourselves in. Happy Movember to all of you out there who are participating. And Sky, maybe between today and tomorrow, you can let that mustache grow.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to make much of a difference, but I'll give it my best shot. So thanks, everyone, for tuning in, and we are signing off, and we will see you back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. local Hawaiian time.